All right, traders, Mike here with the watch list video for Tuesday, November 5th. I didn't mean to start with DJT. Let me show you the SPY first. Pretty much kind of a flat day, right? Closed below its open, but it's worth noting to everybody that tomorrow is election day. I don't know what that means for the market, right? I don't think there's going to be any major results leaning one way or another while the market's open. So I don't have any kind, I love a theme, right? And election day is a theme, but I don't really have anything. DJT might be interesting, but I really was wanting to play it the way I played it today. So let's talk about that real quick. We had it on Bounce Watch. I was hoping for a gap down and I didn't get it. So let's go to 5-minute candles. I'm getting extended hours off of there. So I didn't get the gap down, which was my favorite setup. But there's the early high. This is the opening candle this morning, 32.50. When it got to about here, I mentioned the cup and handle, and then typed in chat, I liked it over 32.50. And it went pretty quickly to 35.76 without ever looking back. So the cup and handle played out nicely. It was a half number break too. And remember, this was a stock that had a big run up into the election, right? And then four days in a row down. So to me, I would love to gap down, but still. So that was one call in it, was the 32.50 break. Let's go to 5-minute. All right, so then I called it right there. Yellow line play got a nice bounce. Kevin P called it right there around VWAP and got even bigger bounce. So there were several calls in this one today. It was actually pretty good to us. And it will be on watch tomorrow. But again, I'm not that thrilled about trading it on election day, just so you know. Tesla was on Bounce Watch. I did call this one over the high of day, which happened right there, right? It had the push down and then right back up and went up pretty nicely. I had a decent little trade in it. Nothing to write home about. My best call and my worst trade of the day, SMCI. I told you guys it was a gap down bounce play setup. There's the opening 5-minute candle. I called it long over 25 and ended up, I don't know how I blew this, but I blew it, right? I made a tiny little gain and sold it flat. There's no reason for that. Just, but I don't mind. I do this every day, all day. I don't mind telling you guys when I do something stupid, right? But anyone that took that through 25, it never looked back. And I'm sure everyone in chat handled it better than I did. It went up to almost 28, probably risking about 50 cents. So that was a neat little trade too. Anyway, with those pointed out, let me slide this up here real quick. I know we've got new faces in chat. So pause the video and read that. It's a great explanation of what we're about. Also, let me say, every once in a while I get an email from a member that's been in there a couple days and say, I don't really understand the terminology. Can you explain what you mean by buy zone and all that? I'm pretty sure, no, I'm positive. In the welcome email we send out, it does have a link to our free webinars. And buy zones are explained in the pullback webinar, buying intraday pullbacks, which is probably 90% of my trades. I'm buying pullbacks intraday, all right? So it's really important to take some time. Could take you a whole weekend, but watch the free webinars, all right? It'll help get you up to speed. All right, so with that all said, let me just go into the list in no particular order. I'm going to put staff on watch, STAF. Not that pretty, right? It gapped up and sold off, but if it catches a bid tomorrow, it might get going. OKLO did have the bounce in the buy zone and ended up going out at the high of day. That's one of those small nuclear energy plays that's been a hot space. They all got down to where I kind of liked them. So OKLO is back on watch for a follow through tomorrow. Same with SMR, came down, touched the 20-day, but ended up closing above its open today. DJT, I already said I'm not that thrilled about trading it tomorrow, but it definitely had a nice setups today. SPPL really extended. I'm not even sure why this thing ran. But I'm going to watch it again tomorrow. Kevin P had several nice heads up in that one today. SMC, I already mentioned this one. This one could continue the bounce tomorrow, right? It did close above its open for the first time since it was about 50 bucks. So that makes it interesting for a possible follow through day. IBRX just goes back on watch. It did put in a bottoming tail. If you watched it today, intraday, it did have this interesting big spike in the middle of the day. So maybe this thing's trying to turn back up now. And it had a really nice move back here, turned at the 8-day. So let's definitely watch that one tomorrow. Mobileye, which, hang on, let me try to type it where I'm supposed to type it. MBLY. had this gap up, sold off, then the next day kind of ripped, and then today kind of a quiet inside day. So I am putting that on long watch. VIR, inside day after Friday's big rip. CGC, one pot stock. I don't know how many state ballots legalization of pot is on. I know it's on Florida's, right? I don't know how many, but tomorrow's election day, and this one, came back up on decent volume today, probably just pre-election. But any of the pot stocks could be worth watching tomorrow. IONQ goes on bounce watch again. Really nice run, and now we're just, several consecutive lower highs, getting close to that 20-day. Pretty good bounce play setup. LTBR goes back on bounce watch. It did hold the 20-day today. Reddit, RDDT. It's kind of up here in no man's land and still extended from the moving averages, but it did have this massive squeeze here and then another day. So it had a couple days lower on declining volume. This one might give us a turn back up tomorrow, and if we're watching it, we might get an A+ setup, right? And then lastly, I'm going to put PLTR on watch, which had earnings after hours. As I'm talking to you, it's trading at 47 bucks, new all-time high. So certainly a potential gapper tomorrow. And that's it. I will see you guys in pre-market. Let's work together in pre-market and add some gappers to this list, and hopefully have a good day. Just don't forget, tomorrow's election day. I don't know what the hell that's going to do to the market, but I guess we'll see tomorrow. All right, have a good night.